Welcome to the video lecture on optical fiber. In this lecture, you are going to learn history of optical fiber, definition of optical fiber, construction of optical fiber, total internal reflection, propagation mechanism, and angle of acceptance and numerical aperture. History of optical fibers. Briefly, we discuss some of the historical developments in the field of optical fibers. So historically, the first experimental proof that light could be guided was provided by British physicist John Tyndall in 1870. He demonstrated that light can be guided along the curved stream of water by the phenomenon of total internal reflection. The first glass fibers were made in 1920s. The concept of cladding brought forth in 1950s. At that time, there was no powerful source of light. Laser was discovered in 1960 by Myman. Transmission of information through glass fibers was proposed in 1966, but the loss of power was very high at that time. Glass fibers with the loss less than 20 decibel per kilometer was discovered in 1970. Commercial communication system based on optical fiber communication made their appearance in 1977. Definition of optical fiber. The light frequency is about 10 to the power 14 Hz, and the frequency of the electrical communication or the microwave communication is about 10 to the power 10 Hz. If the frequency is more, information capacity is more. Optical fibers are essentially light guides used in optical communications. The light is guided through the optical fiber by the phenomenon of total internal reflection. The optical fibers are the long, thin, transparent dielectric materials made up of glass or plastic and able to guide the visible and infrared light over long distances. So let us discuss the construction of the optical fiber. So optical fiber is a cylindrical in shape and it has just two parts. The inner part, which is a cylindrical material, is made up of glass or plastic and is called core. The outer part, which is surrounding the core, is called cladding. The cladding is also made of similar material but of lesser refractive index. The refractive index of the core is more than that of the cladding. The cladding is enclosed in a polyurethane jacket which safeguards the fiber against the chemical reaction with the surroundings and also against the abrasion and crushing. Many such fibers, each one protected by individual jackets, are grouped to form the cable. A cable may consist of one fiber. In that case, it may be called as a single fiber cable, or it may consist of several hundred of such fibers, that is multi-fiber cables. So optical fiber is a transparent dielectric material through which the light is guided by the phenomenon called total internal reflection. So let us discuss total internal reflection. So let us consider two media. One is medium 1, that is the denser medium having the refractive index N1, and another one is the medium 2, that is the rarer medium having the refractive index N2. So let us consider the first case, ray 1 here. So that enters from denser medium to rarer medium at the interface here. So since theta 1 is the angle of incidence and theta 2 is the angle of refraction. Since the light goes from denser medium to rarer medium, theta 1 is lesser than theta 2. Or when a light enters from denser medium to rarer medium, refraction takes place. The refracted ray will move away from the normal. So this is from the Snell's law. Now, if you go on increasing the angle of incidence, the angle of refraction also increases according to the Snell's law. So, at one particular case, that is, let us consider the ray 2. So, when it enters this particular interface at a particular angle, the angle of refraction will be 90 degree. That is, the refracted ray is graces along the surface separating the two media, or angle of refraction is 90 degree. The angle of incidence for which the angle of refraction is 90 degree is called critical angle. So here theta c is the critical angle. Now if you consider another ray, ray 3, so it enters the interface between the two media with an angle larger than the critical angle. So in that particular case, instead of entering into the second medium, it is reflected back into the same medium. So this is called total internal reflection. So there are two conditions for total internal reflection. One is the light should go from denser medium to the rarer medium, and another condition is that the angle of incidence should be larger than the critical angle of incidence. So at the critical incidence, we can write according to Snell's law, n1 sin theta 1 is equal to n2 sin theta 2. So this is theta 1 is the angle of incidence and theta 2 is the angle of refraction. So now at critical incidence, n1 sin theta c equal to n2 sin 90, because the angle of refraction here it is equal to 90 degree and angle of incidence is equal to critical angle. So therefore sin 90 is equal to 1. So therefore we can write n1 sin theta is equal to n2, or theta c is equal to sin inverse of n2 divided by n. So this is the expression for the critical angle. So let us discuss the propagation mechanism. The figure gives the schematic representation of the optical fiber which is used as waveguide for the propagation of light. It works on the principle of total internal reflection. The optical fiber is made up of core of high refractive index transparent material which is surrounded by the cladding of low refractive index transparent material. The light signal that enters into the core can strike the interface of the core and the cladding with an angle greater than the critical angle. So here angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle of incidence. So it suffers a total internal reflection and reflected back into the core. And again it strikes the core cladding interface. Again its angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle and it undergoes total internal reflections. So after series of such total internal refractions, it emerges out of the core at the other end. In the case of total internal reflection, there is absolutely no absorption of light energy at the reflecting surface. The entire incident energy returned along the reflected light. Therefore, optical fibers are able to sustain the light signal even though it is undergoing multiple reflections within the core of the fiber. Thus, the optical fiber functions as waveguide. The propagation of light continues as long as the fiber is not bent too sharply, since for sharp bends, light fails to undergo the total internal reflection. So let us discuss the angle of acceptance and a numerical aperture. Consider a ray of light entering an optical fiber at one end which suffers a critical incidence at the core cladding interface. So ray AO enters the optical fiber with an angle theta naught. So that the angle of refraction at O is equal to theta 1. This is theta 1. So now this strikes the interface between the core and the cladding at an angle equal to 90 minus theta 1. If this angle is theta 1, then this is equal to 90 minus theta 1. But this 90 minus theta 1 is equal to critical angle of incidence. So theta C is equal to 90 minus theta 1. Now the ray travels along the surface separating the two media, the core and the cladding, because here the angle of incidence is equal to critical angle, so therefore the angle of refraction is equal to 90 degree. That means this refracted ray grazes along the surface separating the two media. Now you consider another ray which enters the optical fiber with an angle lesser than theta naught. So then it gets refracted here such that ray falls on the interface between the core and the cladding with an angle greater than the critical angle of incidence. Why? Because as you know this angle is theta 1. So now the angle of refraction here is lesser than theta 1. So therefore here the angle with which light falls on the interface will be greater than 90 minus theta 1. So that is greater than the critical angle. So therefore total internal reflection takes place. So that ray will be traveling through the core of the optical fiber. Now we will consider another ray which enters the optical fiber with an angle greater than theta naught. Now it undergoes refraction here and falls on the interface between the core and the cladding with an angle lesser than the critical angle. So this angle of incidence here will be lesser than the critical angle because this angle is greater than theta 1. So here 90 minus greater than theta 1 value. So therefore it is lesser than theta C. So therefore angle of incidence is lesser than critical angle of incidence. So therefore it will enter into the cladding, hence the ray escapes through the cladding into the surrounding medium. The angle theta naught is called the angle of incidence. So if AO is rotated, so if this AO is rotated around the fiber axis keeping theta naught constant, it produces a conical surface. The beam of light which are funneled into the fiber within this cone only be totally internally reflected and thus confined within the core for the propagation. Rest of the rays that is falling outside this particular cone will be emerges into the sides of the fiber. Hence, theta naught is known as the acceptance angle, or it is also known as the acceptance cone half angle, because this is the cone of acceptance. So this angle is also called as the acceptance cone half angle. So the definition of the acceptance angle is the acceptance angle is defined as the maximum angle that a light ray can have relative to the axis of the fiber which propagates through the fiber. So from this we will have another definition that is called numerical aperture. So numerical aperture represents the light gathering capacity of the optical fiber. So if numerical aperture is more, that means that optical fiber can gather more light. So it is expressed as the sine of the angle of acceptance. So numerical aperture is equal to sine theta naught. where theta naught is the acceptance angle. So NA is equal to sin theta naught.